We have a bunch of stuff to go through here in today's video. We're going to be talking about Treyarch's next Call of Duty in 2023 and how there are a bunch of major issues behind the scenes that may affect the final game here. We're going to go through what the rumors are right now. Is it a big deal? And a bunch of other info regarding this report. If you guys are new and would like to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. And be sure to drop a like on the video as well. And there's still a COD points giveaway going on over on my Twitter. Links are down below to enter that. I'll be announcing the giveaway winner over on my Twitter in the next couple of days after this weekend. But this info here is very interesting, and it's coming from Ralph over on Twitter. Now, a quick little backstory before we go through this news. Over the past couple of months, Ralph has been giving us a bunch of info on this year's Modern Warfare 2 game by Infinity Ward, the sequel to MW 2019. And as you've seen, we've made videos talking about, I just made a video last night actually going through some new MW2 multiplayer info from Ralph, and he's given us info on the new third mode for MW2, the multiplayer, the new Warzone map, all different stuff like that, the campaign AI. And I want to point out that nothing he has said so far seems to be too outlandish, too crazy. I mean, everything he's been saying seems to be in the reasonable, realm of possibilities for a new Call of Duty game. So, that being said, you have to take all of this new info with a grain of salt. Everything he has said previously has not been confirmed, but that's similar to all other leaks and rumors we talk about that you see on the internet regarding new Call of Duties, new updates. Nothing is fully confirmed and 100% going to happen until the studios say themselves. So I feel like we all know that by now, but with this here, it's also very interesting, a bit more interesting and a bit more important, because when you have rumors like this where a report comes out where a game is potentially in a bad state, the game is in trouble, there are issues behind the scenes, you have to watch out what you say, because we just don't know for sure what's going on, and we don't want to start assuming the worst of a game when we're over a year and a half until its release. Again, we're talking about Call of Duty 2023. We're not even at COD 2022 yet. The game hasn't been revealed yet, so this is going to be in a while from now. It's super early, but it is very important to talk about. So here's the tweet. Here's the info from Ralph. He says this: Treyarch has since suffered a heavy loss of their original developers and creative staff due to burnout and several separate issues. The team seems to be going through an identity crisis internally. They aren't exactly experiencing development hell, rather role confusion. So let's go through a bunch of different possibilities here and take different perspectives on this situation. What could be going down behind the scenes at Treyarch? What could be going down with this tweet here? Is this 100% accurate? The first one here is what I already alluded to very quickly, which was to take this info with a grain of salt, because this could easily be inaccurate info or maybe even falsified info. I don't think Ralph just decided to tweet out some random false stuff, but who knows? That's definitely a possibility. Just be sure to keep that in mind. But for other perspectives here, let's say this report is true and Treyarch developers are experiencing burnout, an identity crisis, etc. That's honestly not surprising whatsoever, and it's not a roast to them, or it's not to talk down upon them and to say, Treyarch sucks and this and that. I mean, I really do feel bad, because think about it, for the past couple of years, Treyarch have clearly been overworked, and whatever your opinions are on the studios and Call of Duty and Activision, the state of COD right now, you have to admit and look at what's been going down. So just a recap with Sledgehammer and Raven, they were supposed to make Call of Duty 2020. That was their game, but Treyarch had to come in, swoop in, take over, finish the game, finish the MP, finish the zombies. Raven made the campaign, and that's that. And they probably already had to delay and heavily change all of their plans for their Call of Duty, which was supposed to release in 2021. Now, just after that, they got called in to come over and make a zombies mode, a whole third mode for Sledgehammer's game for 2021, Vanguard. Well, at that time, they were probably still developing Cold War DLC. It was probably during the Cold War DLC season, and they're also starting up plans for COD 2023, and right now, they're still working on Vanguard Zombies. They're working on the competitive side of Vanguard multiplayer. They're still updating Cold War, and they're also developing Call of Duty 2023. It's definitely a lot of stuff to deal with here, and it's reasonable to think that them dealing with all of these different tasks at hand will affect them in some type of way. And what's interesting is that with Cold War, I mean, we had so many issues behind the scenes, as I just said. We had the pandemic as well, but all of that considered, it turned out to be a fairly good game. I know some people say they don't like Cold War that much. Some people may have preferred the older Zombies games. Some people may prefer the Modern Warfare style of things. That's all fair, but you have to admit, Treyarch being able to release that game game during a pandemic in 2020 was a pretty amazing accomplishment, and it turned out to be a fairly solid game for the entire year, despite its, issues that it may have had. I mean, it really was insane there. Now, with Vanguard Zombies, Treyarch are definitely taking a lot more heat than they ever did for any Cold War issues. Clearly the mode is unfinished. We don't have a pause feature, no Easter egg, wonder weapons. We just got a pack-a-punch camo on all these weapons here. So, we know all of the problems that the mode is facing right now. I've gone through them in so many different videos, but the question is now for Call of Duty 2023, again, hypothetically, if this rumor is completely true and Treyarch are feeling intense burnout, will this game end up being a Cold War, which again, had its issues, but ended up being pretty good? A Vanguard Zombie situation where the mode just really isn't liked and unfinished? Or will the game have absolutely no issues and problems whatsoever, despite what may be going on behind the scenes? We don't know for sure, and Ralph said that there aren't any development issues necessarily, so the game, I guess, is still being made, but the devs are just feeling overworked. There's burnout, other issues internally, which, again, might not sound like that big of a deal, but most likely all of that stuff does reflect in the final version of the game. If you're a developer and you're spending, hours upon hours making this new game, developing COD 2023, heading over to Vanguard Zombies, updating that game, going back to Cold War, focusing on that, you're going to go insane, you're going to be overworked, you're going to be stressed out about completing all of these different projects on time, and it'll probably negatively affect the final product. And even if the final product is good and COD 2023 ends up being perfectly fine with no apparent issues, it's kind of insane that developers have to go through just all of these insane work days. If you don't know about the gaming industry and the development industry and being a programmer and a designer for all of these different games, it is insane. The crunch times are unreal. If you look back at old reports from the development of GTA 5, other major games like that, the crunch time was unreal. The working conditions were not good. They would be working so many hours per week. So we don't want that happening with Call of Duty. It probably does happen to some extent. Maybe it's a little better now, but it would still be very unfortunate to see Treyarch going through that, and any studio for that matter. Now, another perspective and possibility here is that, this report could be true, but maybe it's just the feeling and opinions of one developer or a small section of the studio. Maybe this person just feels that there are issues behind the scenes, and this person's feeling might not necessarily reflect the opinions and feelings of other workers, and maybe the majority of the devs working at Treyarch. There are probably a ton of passionate devs that are working and creating stuff for COD 2023. It could be that certain sections and certain parts of their studio are experiencing more issues and being more overworked than other sections. That could be possible as well. So again, we don't know for sure what's going on behind the scenes. Our final hope here is that none of this is true. Of course, we don't want there to be any major issues with this game. The rumor so far regarding Modern Warfare 2 this year is that it's the first game with the full 3 years for development. Most of the previous games have, I guess, had 3 years, but they've experienced so many issues that it ended up being not the full 3 years, less than 3 years, 2 years, maybe even less than 2 years. So for this game here, MW2 seems like they had absolutely no issues behind the scenes. Now, it also seems apparent that Infinity Ward actually have less to deal with right now. They're not working on Warzone. That's Raven's job now, and they're not working on really Modern Warfare. They're not really updating that game anymore, so they're just solely focusing on their next game. Again, Treyarch, as we've been saying, they're working on so much stuff for Vanguard, COD 2023, still giving minor updates to Cold War, so they're really being spread thin. So hopefully, again, if this is true, they could resolve any of their issues and they actually have a good working environment and they can make a good game. And hopefully they're not forced to make other modes. Hopefully they're not forced to make a zombies mode for MW2. I mean, we don't need any of that. So again, I hope none of this is true. And even if it is kind of true and there's some truth to it, it's still so early, it might not matter and it might not be a big deal by the time the game comes out anyway. So again, let me know your opinions on this down below. Now, I'm going to make future videos on stuff we want to see for COD 2023, actual content for the modes, campaign, multiplayer, and of course zombies. But I saw this comment from my last video about Treyarch's next Call of Duty being a Black Ops 2 style game, a remake or remaster of sorts with new content as well. That's just a potential, it's just a theory, of course, based on some rumors, but you guys had some pretty good comments here. One of them I'll put up on screen. I love the gunsmith now, but I hate that we have to unlock 70 attachments per gun, and And when it comes to the camo challenges, I miss the old school challenges. Just get the gun and start unlocking camos from left to right. And now we have to wait to unlock all attachments to get those challenges. It's BS, man. So I completely agree, and I didn't really mention that in my video because I talked about how the gunsmith is a bit too complicated now, and maybe it would be better if we went back to a more simpler create a class system. But what most people have been saying, and this comment here got 131 likes, so a lot of you guys do agree, most people actually do seem to enjoy the new gunsmith in these Call of Duties, the new way to customize your weapons in all different types of ways, all different attachments, all different ways to change the weapon around. So most people enjoy that element. The bigger, more important problem seems to really be about the actual grind to unlock all of those attachments. Vanguard is definitely the worst at this here. In that game, you have to level up your weapon to such a high level to unlock different challenges, to then actually progress in your camo challenges, to progress in your attachment challenges. It's just so weird, and it makes you play the game for so much more longer than you really should. So of course, for the future Call of Duties, I think this is an easy fix, honestly, making it so you have the customizable options. It still could be a pretty long grind, but make it make sense. Make it so when you start leveling up your weapon, you could also simultaneously go for your other challenges, your new attachments, your atomic camo grinds like in Vanguard, and all of that good stuff. So that's a pretty big point there for COD 2023. Again, leave any comments down below of stuff you want me to talk about for the future game. For Treyarch's next Call of Duty, what are some big important things you want them to do, to change for zombies, for multiplayer in specific, compared to Cold War? Do you want most of the Cold War features brought over? Do you want some of the MW/Vanguard features maybe brought over? Do you want certain features brought over from older games, older maps, weapons, different ideas, different modes? Leave all of your ideas down below. I'll be sure to include them in future videos. That's pretty much it here for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Again, if you're new, be sure to subscribe. Really do appreciate all this work, guys. We're getting close to 100K, so hopefully this year we hit that. It's been a dream of mine forever, so thank you guys for watching the channel and enjoying. Again, really do appreciate it. COD Points Twitter still going on. I'm gonna announce that winner probably on Tuesday, so be sure to enter there. Links will be down below in the description and any pinned comment. And that's pretty much it. There are 2 videos up on screen that may interest you. Be sure to check one of them out. Really do appreciate it, guys. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.